We've heard about the alarming spike in crime, particularly contact crimes. eNCA wants to put faces to those numbers. Charley Pietersen and his family survived an attack at gunpoint in their home in Centurion in Tshwane. That prompted him to write a book called Robbed at Gunpoint in Our House. In the book, he recounts their ordeal and the experiences of many others who've survived such crimes, and he also gives a few practical tips. Well, Charley Pietersen is joining us now for this conversation here on the Midday View. Charley, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. It's tough to relive such ordeals like being robbed in your own home, which is supposed to be a sanctuary, a safe place for you, your wife and the kids and your loved ones. But I'm just going to ask you briefly, because not everybody has read your book, what happened?
Thank you, Mden, and thank you to the viewers. It was on the 4th of April this year. Early in the morning, I went to the bathroom. On my way back, I just heard a voice saying that, "Go down, where is the money and the jewelry?" So I was actually shocked because it's early in the morning, it's in the house, and I thought it's one of my children that pranking me. And I picked up then, and this is serious stuff, because this guy hit me with the gun against my head and said, "Where is the money? Go down." And also, they use a small blue light on then to blind you. So the viewers must be very careful. They come in, they don't use a lot of light and everything. So they blinded me with this blue light, and I realized that, hey, this is serious business. So I went down, and I sit on the bed and I touch my wife lightly just to make her aware that, you know, we've got visitors in the house. So because she's an actor, she played the role very, very well, and she was reacting like she was sleeping. So I went down and they started to interrogate me, you know, and said, "Where's the money?" I said, "I don't have money," and everything. And they started to search our house, clean us up, you know, handbags, my laptops, cell phones, everything. So the other one was in the living room of the children. So the children were also held at gunpoint inside in the house.
So your wife pretended to be sleeping. That maybe helped to save the situation somewhat.
Yes. And she was noticing them, you know, moving around and everything. And she also realized that, you know, this is not our kids, because she also thought that it's our youngest son. And she realized, no, they've got black, you know, all black on, Bharat Lava, everything, and foreign language. And we later picked up that our son's iPhone was in Mozambique at the border, you know, of Mozambique. It was tracked at the border of Mozambique.
Yeah. So I mean, you have this experience. I don't know for how long it lasted. Your kids are in the living room. One of the gunmen is holding them up there. The other one is searching your house and taking stuff. And you yourself, you are blinded by the blue light. Did you manage to stay calm? Did you manage to stay calm at least?
Oh, then you don't have a choice. It's there where you really ask the Lord, you know, give me calmness, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And on the other side is that if I move, you know, my whole family's life can be in danger. But I was so angry while I was there on my stomach, because as a father in the house, you can't protect your children, you know. You've been held with a gun against your head while they clean up your house. That makes me really furious on there.
You've taken the time after that April robbery at gunpoint in your house to write a book. And the book, simply titled Robbed at Gunpoint in Our House, in it you relate this ordeal, but you also relate ordeal of other South Africans who've been victims of crime, and you give some tips. So what are these tips? I mean, just for our viewers, what are the do's and the don'ts? I mean, obviously, at that time, you are afraid, you're scared for your wife, you're scared for your children.
You see, what's key, we take a lot of, especially when it comes to safety, we take a lot of things for granted, but by not checking in the evening, are all the windows closed, are all the lights outside? You need to have some beams outside, you know, spotlights, you know. You can even go and get this rechargeable lights, you know, that work with solar and everything. So your place must be lighten and everything. What I also picked up is that be aware if there's any construction taking place next to your house. There are guys that are looking at, and also they make friends with your people that are helping you in the house. You know, they ask them, you know, how many people are in the house? Where are they working? What time are they coming? So smaller things that I've put in the book that we take for granted as ordinary South Africans. Awareness, Braden, awareness is so key. Be aware. Get a dog, you know, small dogs in the house that can bark, you know, when there's movement and everything. And we also realize, I think they throw in something to make us asleep. You know, because all of us were knocked out. So even that time, you know, I was like a zombie going to the bathroom, coming back and everything. So it's so key to be vigilant around your house, inside your house and everything. So we are ready on then. We've taken measures, you know, into our own hands. We said, no, we're going to protect ourselves, you know, as a family. So we've put in strategies in place. This one, in this room, this is what we're hiding if there's something. So you have to be vigilant. That's all that I can say. And my wife wants to go for a gun license and to shoot. We said, oh, it's South African law. If you shoot, then the thing lies with you.
Yeah, and the gun laws, and I was hoping to speak to somebody about that as well. And eNCA today we're focusing on crime in SA. So you have those lessons, but it doesn't make you feel good as a citizen. I mean, you have a footballing history, links to Bloemfontein Celtic. You are today a life coach and an author, and it must be frustrating to see that you can't even keep your own home safe. You have to go the extra, besides awareness and vigilance, to make sure that your wife and the kids and family are safe.
You know, then you're quite right. It shows you, even if you are over, how can I say, protective, you have to be vigilant. In our country, I promise you, is that they rob you in the street, they can rob you anywhere. And you know what is key? There was fingerprints, but when we went and looked now and inquire, they said, no, they can't be traced, because it seems to me either, I'm not against people coming in the country, you know, without...
Yeah, but foreigners, who are not documented, they don't have fingerprints in the system. You won't pick them up. I mean, yeah, my wife and I were robbed in 2013 at gunpoint by four people, including a woman, and they were all from Zimbabwe. And they couldn't find the fingerprints at the time. Until today, we haven't traced them, and they robbed us at the gate of our home. So I think the importance here is that the government, the police need to move fast to document everybody, get the fingerprints of anybody onto the system.
Yes. And also, then the process of the police, you know, they were there. Really, I salute them. They were there in the next 10 minutes after that happened. And since then, they just disappeared. So we went after them and asked them, what happened to the case? We were the one inquiring. They said, no, they came back and said, no, the person that's working with this case is on leave. He will come back to you. And when the guy came back, he just told us that the fingerprints can't be traced.
Yeah, well, that's really the reality that we face in the country. I mean, as I said, we were robbed in December 2013. The last I saw a cop from the Randburg police station was in January 2014. Until today, the case, I don't know what happened to the case. Thank you very much, Charley Pietersen, for sharing your ordeal there, having been robbed at gunpoint in their house in Centurion. He wrote a book and he's giving us a few tips there. He's a life coach and an author.